This video is all about this scope, the SQA 106. And it's no unboxing, because that's not in fashion anymore, right? So it's just a uncasing. And we do that right after the trailer. Hey, this is View into Space. I'm Sascha from Switzerland, so grüezi miteinander, and thanks for watching my channel. So before we start, let's address the elephant in the room. Why do I wear a SIVO hat in an Askar video? Well, there's three reasons for that. First of all, the SIVO scopes are in principle repainted Askar scopes, so from that point of view it's actually in line. Second of all, Askar never sent me a hat, SIVO did. Hint hint, Askar. And the third reason, from that perspective, my hairstyle or what remained of it just looks not very favorably. So that's better. And with that, let's get going. So let's start with, what is this? The SQA line of Askar is the premium line. Some might call it the Takahashi killers. So premium optics, very small pinpoint stars out to the edges, very large image circle, so you can go full frame and beyond. And when we look here at the spec sheet, the two things that definitely also have to be mentioned is that it is actually f4.8, which is just really fast for a refractor of this focal length. And the other thing, to make the quality a little bit more tangible, if we look at the lens, then we see that it has two pieces of SD glass included, while the cheaper refractors like the FRA series, for example, only has ED glass. And in a hyperactive way that Askar releases one scope after the other. About 1 year ago it was mostly the APO line, now they're fully on the SQA line. There is at the moment one SQA scope after the other, and now the 106 is the biggest one. And personally, I find this 500mm range that this is in very attractive. A little bit more narrow than the FRA 400, which I already have, but not as much zoomed in as the 103 APO with its 700mm that I have. So it's a nice middle ground. So the SQA 106 comes in a nice case. And the first thing when I received it was like, man, is that heavy. It doesn't show it, but this box here weighs 10 kilograms or 20 pounds. So there is something really massive in it, and that's also what you would not expect from a 500mm scope, to be so heavy. But in fact, the scope with the bracket around is over 8 kilograms or 16 pounds. And that's just also something you have to calculate in from a mount point of view. So if you have an AM3, probably rather not. So let's open it up. And here we go. So the case is, as a transport case, really well made. So let's take it out. It's really, really heavy. And I think I will put it here so that it's nicely visible. So in the box there are obviously also the documents with a small manual, with a screw for the bottom of the focuser, and with a certificate and a checklist what was all done. And then on the funny side, there's actually a strap also included, where you could actually very conveniently carry this case on your shoulder. If you're like a bodybuilder, I don't know. I don't think I want to carry 10 kilograms on my shoulder, but anyway, it's included. So the first thing that obviously catches the eye is this completely new design. We had the red scopes, we had the white scopes, we had the green scopes, and now everything is in silver and black. Looks premium, absolutely. So very nice design. And obviously also this black bracket here in the middle, it's so massive and offers so many ways to install things. So absolutely cool and just gives it, for the price that you pay, which is around $3,000, just the right look. It shows. And talking about what you can install, you really have a lot of options. You have this option here, which you can, for example, use for a guide scope and so on. You could install your ASI Air or whatever on one of these brackets here. So you have all the options in the world already pre-installed. That's nice. Also, these screws that you can very easily open this bracket without really detaching them is very nicely done. And what's also really cool is that you do not have a Vixen style dovetail at the bottom, but actually a Osmandy one, which is just much more rigid. And for that size of scope, for that weight, absolutely justified. Looking now at the scope, which I feel would have been nice if they would have actually included the carrying grip, which you can install here. And you have to buy that separately for, I think, $60, which is not the world. But it really kind of is not so easy to carry here because it's so tight. So the grip makes a lot of sense. And I think it would have been the smarter choice to raise the price of the scope by $50. Nobody would have even noticed, than to offer it as an accessory. But that's just me. You might think differently about that. Dew shield, obviously also huge, with a nice screw to block it. Runs very smoothly, but also firm. I think even without the screw, this would not move. Also, the cover here in front holds really firm. Obviously metal, also with the Askar 106. So you can look now at this massive, massive glass here. It's just amazing looking at it, how big it is. And we will do a size comparison afterwards, which I think might be interesting for you. Back here, almost the same as with any recent Askar scopes. We have a rotator included, runs really smooth, something very convenient I really like. Would I like an auto rotator, like the CAA? Absolutely. But I mean, this is really luxury, because if you have something like that and you are on site, it's so easy to turn like that. So nice that that is included. There is a 48mm adapter included at the back here, or pre-installed. So if you go with 48, then you're all set. If you want something bigger, then this is actually included here. That's a M54, and that's even a M68. So however big your sensor is, you have the right adapters right delivered with you. And I mean, it's even nice, even here, there's the Askar on it, it's fully metal here. And the cool part is it's PET-small design, so you do not need a flattener. There is also no reducer announced for this scope, I think for none of the SQA line, if they do not want that, if it comes later, I don't know. But I'm anyway not such a fan of reducers, because then the whole PET-small design falls apart again and you have to look for back focus distance again and so on. So anyway, but you can just connect your camera right here, just go with the focuser out until you're in focus and you can start shooting. So it's so easy. And when we talk about the focuser, when I turn around here, it's also very smooth. It's just not that long. It's just about 3 centimeters to focus. The rest you have to do here with the right distance with some spacers. But the rest here, absolutely smooth how it focuses. I thought that this might be an interesting size comparison. The 103 APO versus the SQA 106. Obviously here the focuser is a little bit out. If we actually take it from here to here, the 103 APO is only a little bit longer with its 700mm than the SQA 106. But obviously here you have the whole flattener, which makes it much longer, which you do not need here. So at the end it's still much shorter, the whole setup with the SQA 106 than with the 103 APO. But obviously the interesting part is the weight. And while I can easily lift the 103 APO, even with the EAF on it and everything, if I want to lift this baby, I actually cannot even do it in this position. It's so heavy. So it's, and that actually shows, you know, the glass that's in here, how massive it is built. So it really screams quality. So from a hardware point of view, there is really nothing to criticize. This is from a design point of view, from a build point of view, from the options that you have. There is just nothing that could be improved except of the grip. I would have liked to have included here, but that's a minor thing. When you know it, and now you know it, if you order this scope, I would recommend just also order the grip. You will need it simply because of the massive weight. It's just rather unsafe and not convenient to handle like that. But otherwise, absolutely love it. So what will come now is that I will equip it with the EAF and I will start shooting. So let's hope we have some clear sky that I can do these tests. Looks not bad at the moment. And then I will back with the second video. That you surely not miss the second video, please subscribe to my channel. See you next time, and clear skies.